over the weekend, I was listening to a podcast. I was reading some blogs, something I love doing all the time. I love information. I love learning new things. I love learning how I can improve my life, my business, even just for fun. And I realized as I was reading and listening that there's a hole in the marketplace. There's something where I couldn't find what I wanted online. So, eureka, I thought of this. Oh, this could be a great new business I can start. Because I'm not running enough businesses. But it got me really excited, and I wanted to share with you my process of how I'm working this out, to see if this is really a worthwhile venture to go through. So the first thing I did was a Google search. So I did search to see if my assumption was correct, if there really is an opportunity here that isn't already in place. So there was no other site or podcast that was covering the idea that I have. So I couldn't find it. So that's good. The second thing is, okay, so what I started creating a vision of what I'd like this to look like. And I had an idea of, okay, I could run it this way. This is who can be involved in it. Here's how I could monetize it, and so on. So I thought of the vision. The third was I started looking online for some tutorials. So what does it take to create a website or a podcast that's a business, not just a podcast or a website that promotes your own business? But how do you create a business out of a blog or a business out of a podcast? So I did some preliminary research online as well. And then this morning, I saw one of Allison's posts, and I realized, oh, wait a minute, she's already creating something that I want to create. So I called her up, basically leveraged my network, in particular my support network. I called her up and I said, oh, I noticed that you're doing this. I'm thinking of doing the same thing. How does that work? How is it working for you? What have you learned? What are some things that I should consider before I start this? And she gave me just some wonderful advice of how, not only what it takes in terms of time, and particularly the time, but she also gave me a great solution that to be honest, if I was talking to a client, I probably would have made this same suggestion to them. But when it's your own stuff, sometimes it's just too close that you can't see that obvious solution. So she very graciously offered me to try participating in her publication and see if I like it. So that's the big thing, is particularly for people, if you're more of a big picture type of person like I am, visionary person, we have a lot of great ideas, but implementing it and doing it on a consistent basis is a whole nother story. So thank you, Allison, for giving me this opportunity to try out my business idea, see if it is something that I want to pursue. It may be something I enjoy, but maybe it just becomes a hobby, or I make it another a smaller part of my business, or maybe I really do love it and I do decide to launch another business because of this opportunity that Allison's giving me. So I just want to share that thank you to Allison for her help, and also to give that piece of advice for you as well, is if you have an idea, whether it's to add on to your business or start a new business, a second or third or fourth business, first do some preliminary research online, but don't just rely on Google alone. There's nothing like advice from someone who is already in the trenches and is already on that journey, or even better, has made a success out of it. So do that preliminary research and look who is in your network, who you can learn from. Call them up, ask for some advice, ask them for an informational meeting, or just ask them a few questions on the phone, and then start putting it into action.